With so many deals in the market right now, and Palantir being on just that little bit of a rally, is it time to sell and go in another direction? What exactly is going on with this stock? There's actually some good, some bad, and honestly, a lot of stuff that's kind of in between. And just, I don't know, guys, it just really made me think about it. And the more I think about it, and the more I look at it, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm looking at here, I think I just got to change my mind with this stock. So I just ask in exchange that you gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do if you like the truth without the hype. All right, so let's start here just kind of basically scrolling the news there. You see Palantir shares purchased by the state of New Jersey Common Pension Fund. A couple times there, why big data stocks like Palantir, MongoDB, never heard of them, and others fell hard on Tuesday. Who really cares? Palantir lands a £75 million deal with the British military. Could Palantir become the next Salesforce? World Research downgrades Palantir, says investors should sell before it becomes a sub $5 stock. And another one there from the Wall Street Journal where Palantir SPAC bet backfires, hitting company's growth. Palantir, one major tailwind and one major headwind. Shocking. Nothing new there from Seeking Alpha. They'll always give you the bull and the bear, and a bull article, then a bear article. Kind of depends upon which you click on as to which one they feed you there. We've talked about that in the past. Let's see here. What else? The problem with Palantir stock. Yep, there's your bear article right there with Seeking Alpha. Down 65% in this bear market. Can Palantir recover in 2023? It's from the Motley Fool, and looks like there's another one down there. Two stocks down 80% that could soar in 2023, and it's talking about Palantir and DigitalOcean. So that's basically another one there where they're kind of pumping it up there. So as you can see there, as we scroll through the news, you got pension funds buying, which is a good thing. Pension funds don't buy speculative stuff. They try not to. I shouldn't say they never do, but especially after getting beaten down last year, I promise you they're not looking to put money into speculative plays. They're definitely looking for some solid growth in their portfolio. So it's good seeing that pension fund looking to Palantir for that growth. But then on the flip side, you kind of see the battle there that goes on with this stock. You see bull articles and bear articles and people, oh, don't buy it because it's going down to $5, it's trash. Or, hey, it could return huge the next year, or I guess this year, 2023. And honestly, guys, outside of Tesla, it's one of the most divisive stocks I've seen in a long time. I mean, you either just love it and you see the long-term vision, or you hate it and it's complete trash and Alex is just crazy and you're just wasting your time and your money investing in that stock. You really tend to fall in one of two camps with this stock. Kind of basically like Tesla's the only one I can think of that kind of falls into that kind of extreme category, kind of like we got in politics here and everything else. But I showed you that specifically because there was something that kind of slipped in under the radar there. The £75 million deal with the British government for whatever the heck they needed it for. I apologize, should have clicked the article and read about it. But you see that sort of stuff all the time. You pull up Palantir, you click on the news there with Palantir stock, and all of it's just bull, bear, this, that, all this noise, all this other stuff. And you'll just kind of see sprinkled in there. They land this contract, they land that contract. And it's just kind of quietly in there. It's covered a couple places and it kind of moves on, but it never catches the big steam like a lot of other companies do whenever they land contracts and such. So it's kind of one of those deals, and we've talked about it for honestly almost 2 years now with this stock, that it's kind of a sneaky growth stock. You just kind of add a contract here, add a contract there, and it just kind of continues to flow downhill. Not a lot of fanfare, and of course, we'll talk about their communication here in just a second. That lacks, to say the least, but you don't hear a lot about it. And then bam, before you know it, they've added all these contracts and everybody kind of goes, wow, where'd those come from? That shows you exactly how sneaky this stock kind of can be. But more importantly, that they are continually adding contracts like clockwork as they kind of move forward. The sales team is obviously doing well. We'll see how well in this earnings call here. I don't want to call out anything. I'm strictly guessing for now. But guessing upon the amount of contracts that I've seen come in over the past quarter, it looks like they're starting to pick up a little bit of steam. But like I said, hold off on that until we actually get to the earnings call and we actually see the proof in the pudding there in terms of what they did. Now, I can't speak to kind of anecdotally. We've had several group members in my group who have talked about they got a presentation from Palantir or they switched to using Palantir's software, and they really are impressed. Every single one of them said, wow. It was basically one person in particular kind of compared it to Snowflake and said Snowflake was basically children's play compared to what Palantir could do. So again, it's anecdotal, doesn't mean anything in the long run, but anecdotally, our folks that in my group that are specific, they work in this field, they work with this type stuff, they know the good and the bad with all of it. All of them have had nothing but praise for Palantir in regards to the product itself, how it works, and the value that it brings. As a matter of fact, a few of them were actually blown away by how much value it actually came from introducing their software and what they do and what they could bring to their company. And like I said, when they compared it to Snowflake, because apparently a couple of our members specifically, they got presentations from them, it was like night and day in terms of the ability, what it could do, and how complex it was in relation to Snowflake and what they do. So kind of extrapolating that out, to me, that means that they're not going to win a lot of small players because I honestly think it's too, big and complex, and maybe they'll create something, and I won't say dumb it down, that's the wrong word, but basically create something that can hit more a lot of those small to medium-sized businesses, but I see Snowflake really taking a lot of that market share. And for larger corporations, I think that's where Palantir is really going to show its value, because you get into these large multinational, corporations and such, and they need a complex solution. They don't need child's play. They need the adult version, if you guys know what I'm saying there. So they got it. The only choice you got right now is to go with Palantir. Now, maybe Snowflake can get there in the future, and obviously, Palantir can get down into those, easier to use, smaller products and such that would fit more of a small to medium-sized business. But for right now, I would say it's harder to go up than it is to go down in regards to this type of work. But regardless of what happens, the market is not friendly to a stock like Palantir, and it's not going to be friendly, guys, if we're being honest, at least for the next 6 months, maybe the next year. So with this latest rally, the question comes, do you sell and kind of wait for another entry point later on, or wait for that $5 or whatever the heck the case is? Or is it actually got a place in your portfolio at all? Do you understand what you own there? And do you understand what type of stock this actually is? And know that it's not like a typical growth stock, and it's not going to move like a typical growth stock. So if you don't understand that, we'll talk about it right now and kind of lay that out to see, is it right for you? And yes, I'll lay out exactly why I've changed my mind about this stock and what I think about it, and all the reasons why as well. Remember, you have to plan, you have to do evaluation, you have to know everything that goes into that stock, and we're running a flash sale right now for my group where we teach exactly that through 5 courses that you can take for free. We do live Q&As, and you get access to me 24/7. Anytime you guys want to ask questions, you can ask me, you can ask our Discord. We have the best Discord out there. You definitely don't get more for the money. We also added a weekly investor report and a ton of other resources in there for you to get anything and everything you want for Palantir stock specifically, or any other stock you're looking at. The flash sale ends this weekend, so make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and see if it's right for you. See what all you get. Guys, there's not more information out there. Sure, you can go pay several $100s for somebody's course, or you can sign up for mine for under $30 and try it out and see if it's right for you. So for me, when I look at this, Palantir is executing as expected, guys. But of course, like we've talked about 100 times, they communicate so poorly, you honestly wouldn't know it. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, I kind of like it because it kind of stays under the radar, and it's going to allow shares to stay cheaper for longer, which of course for me as a long-term investor, that's exactly what I want to have happen. But I will say the communication sucks, and we'll see what earnings calls bring. But man, they can be a wild roller coaster, and it can actually really help. And usually it actually ends up hurting the stock. Now, am I concerned? No, I can read through the BS. This isn't my first rodeo. We can see those sort of things and understand where the company's trying to go, even if Alex, for the life of him, can't communicate it and appropriately get it out there. And honestly, neither of the management team typically does poorly overall in terms of communicating that. So we do have a communication issue still with this stock. So right, wrong, fair, or unfair, it doesn't matter. When you don't effectively communicate as a management team, that's a problem, and that's a failure of management, and it hurts the stock, guys. Like I said, it doesn't matter. We can call it fair, unfair. Wall Street shouldn't do that, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're playing their game. This is stock investing. This is stock market, and this is how it works. So they have to get better at communicating. And honestly, they're not right now. That's just the honest truth with it. So let's kind of tackle all this right now. So Palantir, for me, I've changed my mind because they continue to execute on schedule exactly how they've said they were going to. Now we'll see what happens on the earnings call. But from everything I see right now, I see no reason why they are not continuing to execute as I thought they would execute. This is not a typical growth stock like you think whenever you think of growth stocks here. It's not going to grow the same way that you really think it will. I think it will have that point at some point in time in the future, but it's not going to be for many years. You've got to understand, I think this is going to be basically a slow grower. It's going to continue to grow all the numbers, and Alex is going to continue to run that balance sheet and that income statement and all the financials to where it just barely loses money or barely makes money, just based upon how they do their accounting and how they choose to account for things. But they're going to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and get larger. And they've proven that their product is so sticky that it's just going to be at some point in time a behemoth that Wall Street can't ignore anymore. So for me, if they execute and they continue to execute, I'm going to actually be more aggressive now with adding shares to this stock if it stays kind of in this, $5 to $6 range, because I just don't see too many companies that are doing what they're doing in the space that they're in, and I kind of see that long-term growth potential. I'm all right waiting a few years for my returns. I don't expect returns this year from Palantir stock. Now, if I get it, great. That's awesome, but I don't expect it this year. I expect it to come in future years, and I think we're going to see big returns in future years, but you got to be patient. This can't be one of these stocks to where you're buying it right now and then you think you're going to start comparing it to other stocks in your portfolio that are going to start running a lot faster than I think Palantir is going to run. Now, if I'm wrong on that, that's awesome. That means I make a lot more money faster, but I'm not sure it's going to do that. And I kind of want to make sure you understand that expectation when you're buying this stock, that, hey, you've got to be looking 3 to 5 years out there for you to really see that big jump in stock price, in my opinion. And that works in my favor because I want the price to stay down as long as possible so I can add more shares and have a much larger position in this stock whenever it finally does go on that run. You know, we talked about that in the group the other day. Actually, we were on a live Q&A and it came up, hey, I hate averaging up. I don't like doing that. And we kind of talked about, would you rather own, Tesla with a really great, low average, well, say $10 per share or whatever the case is, but you only have like 100 shares? Or would you rather have an average closer to $50 or $100 or so, but you own 10,000 shares instead? Obviously, if the price is $400, yeah, you'd much rather own the more shares. But you don't do that all at once. You're not just lump sum investing. It happens by consistently investing over time. And of course, the more the stock stays down and the longer time frame it is, the more you can accumulate shares cheaper to keep that cost average down while accumulating more shares. So when a stock eventually does go on that run, you can absolutely make a lot more money than you did just kind of, making a lottery bet, throwing it all, in one place, one time, one shot, and then kind of seeing where the stock goes from there. That's not how I choose to invest. That's not how most investors choose to invest. It's consistently adding to great stocks when they're at great prices, and that's kind of how you build wealth over the long run. And don't forget about the flash sale that's ending this weekend for my group. So, if you want free courses and you want access to me and a ton of other resources and the best Discord, in my opinion, in the world, make sure you check out the pinned comment down there before that expires this weekend. And click this video here to see the top 10 stocks for 2023, the most important ones for sure, guys. And click here to see exactly what I'm doing in this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.